She thrives on attention, not connection. You can feel it in the way she moves through conversations. Her words seem intimate, but her eyes are always scanning for the next audience. Her energy lights up when she's being admired, but dims when genuine vulnerability enters the room. She's addicted to the feeling of being wanted, of being noticed, of knowing she has power over hearts and minds. And that's the dangerous part, because when a woman's motivation comes from validation rather than connection, every gesture becomes a transaction. She gives affection, but only to receive admiration. She listens, but only long enough to find a way to make it about herself again. Her love becomes a performance, a play she's written, directed, and stars in, while you're unknowingly cast as her supporting role. Attention to her is oxygen. It's how she measures her worth. The more people desire her, the more valuable she feels. And so she'll create scenarios that keep her at the center, the constant selfies, the flirtatious banter with strangers, the subtle competition for who can compliment her the loudest. She may not even realize she's doing it. It's not always manipulation in the traditional sense. Sometimes it's insecurity wearing designer clothes. She fears invisibility more than loneliness. And that's why she'll always seek validation before she seeks love. Love requires humility, patience, and truth, but validation only needs applause. And applause is easy to get when you know how to charm. You'll notice how she thrives when multiple people want her attention, yet struggles to nurture the attention of one person who truly cares. Deep connection exposes the parts of her that attention can't fix, the parts she's not ready to face. So she keeps things shallow, playful, non-committal. She'll flirt just enough to keep you hooked, but never deep enough to make you feel safe. Because safety isn't exciting to her, attention is. She doesn't crave intimacy. She craves the chase, the admiration, the feeling of being chosen over someone else. And when that attention fades, she moves on searching for her next fix of validation like it's her next breath. But the truth is, no amount of attention will ever fill the void of unhealed insecurity. She may think she's in control, but deep down, she's controlled by the very thing she craves. Attention becomes her drug, and anyone who gives it becomes her supplier. You'll find yourself giving more and receiving less, thinking if you just love her harder, she'll finally see your worth. But she won't. Not because she can't, but because she doesn't know how to connect without performing. She hasn't yet learned that love isn't about being admired, it's about being known. And until she learns that, she'll continue mistaking applause for affection and attention for love. Her interest peaks when you pull away. It's the sudden spark that comes alive the moment you stop chasing her. When you're present, she's distant. When you pull back, she suddenly remembers your worth. Her messages come faster, her tone softens, her eyes light up again. But it's not love she's rediscovering, it's control. She's not drawn to your heart. She's drawn to the feeling of being desired. The moment she senses you slipping away, her ego panics. It's not about missing you. It's about missing the attention that once revolved around her. She doesn't want to lose you, but she doesn't truly want to keep you either. She wants the power that comes from knowing she could have you if she wanted to. It's an emotional tug of war, one that keeps you guessing and doubting yourself. When she feels your energy retreat, she reels you back in, not because she's ready to connect, but because she refuses to feel replaced. Her pride won't allow it. Her validation depends on being the one pursued, the one chosen, the one who matters most. So when your silence starts to echo louder than her voice, she can't stand it. Suddenly, she becomes affectionate again, texting more, complimenting more, showing interest in your day, all the things she could have done before but chose not to. And once you respond, once you open the door she closed, she slowly drifts back into her comfort zone of indifference. It's a pattern that feeds her ego and depletes your peace. You see, the high she gets isn't from love, it's from the chase. The thrill of being wanted gives her a rush she can't resist. When that energy fades, she grows restless. Your consistency feels boring to her, your loyalty too predictable. But the moment you stop giving her that steady stream of attention, she feels the void, and that's when she chases you again. It's a dance built on imbalance. She advances only to retreat and retreats only to be pursued. And while you're busy decoding her mixed signals, she's subconsciously feeding on the power of your confusion. What makes this red flag so dangerous is its subtlety. She might not even be aware that she's doing it. To her, it feels like missing you, but it's really her ego starving for reassurance. The reassurance that she still matters, that she's still unforgettable, that she still holds space in your mind. But once you return, once she knows she still has that hold, the hunger disappears until you distance yourself again. It's a never-ending cycle of attraction and withdrawal that keeps you emotionally unstable and her emotionally entertained. In truth, the moment someone's attention becomes the measure of her worth, she's no longer relating from love. She's reacting from fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of losing her power, fear of facing herself without the constant mirror of admiration. And as long as that fear drives her, she'll mistake your absence for rejection instead of reflection and use every ounce of charm to win back the attention that makes her feel alive. Everything is a performance. Her love, her affection, even her pain, all carefully presented for effect. She knows how to play the part so well that it almost feels real. When others are watching, she shines. Her words sound poetic, her laughter contagious, her touch affectionate. But behind closed doors, that energy fades. The warmth that seemed effortless suddenly turns cold. What felt genuine starts to feel rehearsed. You begin to realize that she's not nurturing a connection, she's maintaining an image. The way she interacts isn't about emotional truth, it's about perception. She doesn't want to feel love, she wants to look like love. When affection becomes a performance, intimacy loses its honesty. She'll hold your hand when the cameras are on, but pull it away when no one's around. She'll post quotes about loyalty and depth, but avoid any conversation that requires vulnerability. Her relationships exist as highlights, curated, filtered, and perfectly timed to appear meaningful. And the sad truth is, she's not doing it to deceive others maliciously. She's doing it to convince herself that she's living the love she desires. But real love isn't loud, it's quiet. It's found in the moments when no one else is watching, and that's where her act tends to fall apart. A woman who performs affection often comes from a place of emotional emptiness. She's learned that admiration can be mistaken for love, that applause feels like acceptance. So she performs to avoid the silence that comes when the crowd is gone. Her gestures, though grand, are hollow. Her compliments are sweet but inconsistent. She knows what love should sound like, but she doesn't know how to live it beyond the script she's written in her mind. To her, appearances mean everything. She believes that if the world sees her as adored, she must be valuable. And so she works tirelessly to uphold that illusion, even if it means disconnecting from her true self. You'll notice her most affectionate when there's an audience. Public validation gives her a sense of pride, as though love only exists when it's being witnessed. But in private, she struggles with presence. Her attention drifts, her warmth fades, and her focus shifts back to her reflection, how she looks, how she's perceived, how she'll be remembered. The love she gives is often conditional on how much admiration she receives in return. If you praise her, she glows. If you question her, she distances herself, because to her, love isn't about understanding, it's about maintaining the illusion of perfection. Eventually, you start to feel like an extra in her story, someone who exists to make her look better, feel desired, or appear happy, but you can't build something real on performance. True connection requires rawness, not rehearsed gestures. And until she learns to drop the act, every moment of affection will feel staged, beautiful on the outside, but empty where it matters most. She competes, not connects. Every interaction feels like a silent contest, one where she has to prove that she's in control, that she's winning, that she can outshine, outthink, or outmaneuver. What should feel like partnership starts to feel like rivalry. She doesn't see love as a shared journey, but as a game of balance. Who gives more? Who needs more? Who loves more? Her validation comes from being one step ahead, from knowing she has the upper hand emotionally or socially. Connection requires vulnerability, but competition feeds off ego. And ego can't coexist with intimacy. When a woman operates from competition, she sees closeness as a risk to her power. She fears that if she lets her guard down, she'll lose control. So instead, she measures, compares, and tests. If you show affection, she withholds hers to maintain leverage. If you succeed, she subtly downplays it. If you get attention, she suddenly needs to outdo it, dressing differently, acting aloof, or stirring curiosity just to reclaim the spotlight. She isn't doing it out of cruelty, but out of insecurity. Her self-worth is tied to being more than, not together with. What makes this dynamic so exhausting is that it turns love into a scoreboard. Every gesture becomes a point to be earned or a position to defend. She wants to feel needed, but not too much. She wants to feel admired, but not overshadowed. She craves respect, yet struggles to offer it without comparison. Deep down, she fears that if she's not competing, she'll become replaceable. So she uses competition as protection, a shield against vulnerability, a mask against insecurity. But in doing so, she distances herself from the very closeness she secretly desires. Her conversations subtly reflect this mindset. Instead of celebrating your wins, she'll turn them into reminders of her own. Instead of sharing her struggles, she'll hide them behind sarcasm or deflection. You'll notice her needing to have the last word or prove she's right. Even in small arguments, she doesn't want equality. She wants the comfort of superiority, because in her mind, power equals safety. And yet, the more she tries to dominate, the less connected she feels. Competition kills warmth. It replaces curiosity with criticism, partnership with pride. Over time, you begin to notice that you can't fully relax around her. You can't share your vulnerabilities without feeling like they'll be used against you later. Every tender moment feels fragile, easily broken by a sudden shift in tone or a cutting remark meant to reassert dominance. You find yourself walking on eggshells, trying not to trigger her insecurity. But the truth is, no amount of reassurance will ever satisfy someone who measures love in victories, until she learns that love is about complementing, not competing, about understanding, not outshining. She'll keep mistaking control for strength and power for connection. And in the process, she'll win the game but lose the bond. She's addicted to the chase, not the commitment. In the beginning, she's magnetic, full of excitement, energy, and charm. Her attention feels intoxicating because it's intense and deliberate. She knows exactly how to make someone feel special, how to create that spark that pulls you in. But what feels like connection is often just her thrill of pursuit. The chase makes her feel alive, desired, powerful. It's not about who she's chasing or being chased by. It's about the feeling of being wanted. The moment that intensity turns into consistency, her interest begins to fade. Stability doesn't excite her. It bores her. She equates comfort with complacency and depth with danger. When someone is addicted to the chase, they crave unpredictability. They love the high of winning someone over, the teasing, the tension, the uncertainty. It makes them feel validated, like they're irresistible. But the moment that admiration becomes familiar, it loses its spark. You'll notice her becoming distant without warning, picking unnecessary fights, or suddenly craving space. It's not that she stopped caring. It's that the dopamine rush of pursuit is gone. She's not used to nurturing what she's caught, only chasing what feels slightly out of reach. This pattern often comes from emotional immaturity or fear of vulnerability. Commitment requires stillness, patience, and emotional depth. It demands presence, something that exposes a person's true self. For her, that's uncomfortable. She thrives in situations where she can keep things light, where emotions are felt but not explored. The chase allows her to maintain control. It keeps her in motion, always doing, always seeking, because slowing down means confronting the parts of herself she's not ready to face. So she'll subconsciously sabotage anything that feels too real, too grounded, or too safe. You'll see it in her patterns, how quickly she goes from passion to withdrawal, how the same intensity she used to draw someone and becomes the same energy she uses to push them away. It's not about the person she's with. It's about the emotional cycle she's trapped in. She confuses excitement with love, attention with affection, chaos with chemistry. Her heart doesn't crave connection. It craves adrenaline, and when things calm down, she starts looking for reasons to doubt, to escape, to chase again. She might say she wants a deep relationship, but her actions reveal something else. She's in love with the idea of falling in love, the butterflies, the mystery, the fantasy, but not with the work that follows. Commitment feels like a cage to her because it removes the thrill of uncertainty. Yet, ironically, what she keeps chasing is the very thing she keeps running from: emotional safety. Until she learns that real love isn't found in the pursuit, but in the peace that follows, she'll keep mistaking passion for purpose and movement for meaning. And in that constant chase, she'll never stay long enough to experience the beauty of being truly known. You feel emotionally drained, not empowered. Every time you leave her presence, it's as though something inside you has been quietly emptied. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, a slow erosion of your peace that you can't quite explain. You start conversations feeling confident, but end them second guessing yourself. You give, you listen, you show up, yet somehow it's never enough. There's always something more you could have done, said, or given. That's what happens when someone's affection is built on ego, not empathy. Her love consumes energy instead of creating it. Instead of partnership, you feel like a power source, constantly charging someone who never seems to recharge you in return. When you're around her, your emotions feel heightened. The highs are intoxicating. The lows are confusing. One day she makes you feel like the center of her world. The next, you feel invisible. This inconsistency isn't random. It's control. It keeps you attached, always trying to return to that moment when everything felt right. But that moment isn't love. It's leverage. She gives just enough warmth to keep you hopeful, then withdraws it to keep you chasing. The imbalance creates dependency, and soon you find yourself prioritizing her peace over your own. Over time, you begin to lose pieces of yourself, your laughter, your focus, your ease. You become cautious with your words, careful with your emotions, afraid of being misunderstood. You start apologizing for things that shouldn't require apologies. It's not that she demands it outright. It's that her energy makes you feel like you're always falling short. She might not say it directly, but her tone, her silence, her withdrawal, they all communicate one message. You're not enough unless you're giving more. That's the trap of ego-driven love. It takes what it needs, but rarely gives what it should. It feeds off admiration, attention, and effort, not to build connection, but to affirm superiority. You'll notice that when you try to express how you feel, the conversation somehow shifts back to her. Her needs, her feelings, her version of events. Your emotions become background noise in a story where she's always the main character. And while you're trying to fix things, she's collecting proof that she's irreplaceable. True love is supposed to empower, to make you feel lighter, stronger, more yourself. But when you're entangled with someone whose affection is powered by ego, you feel smaller over time. It's as if your light threatens hers, so she dims it to keep control. The relationship becomes a silent exchange of energy. You give, she takes. You pour, she sips. And no matter how much you give, she never feels full because ego has an endless appetite. Eventually, you realize that love shouldn't leave you feeling depleted. Affection shouldn't feel like a transaction. The right connection doesn't demand your exhaustion as proof of devotion. When someone truly values you, being with them feels like rest, not recovery. But when love is driven by ego, peace becomes the price you pay for staying.